Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Malak, Yahweh Shah. Hey, and the 12 tribes out here doing this work in truth and sincerity, man. So what we're going to go over, what we're going to touch on today, and we're going to deal with this King Alfred plan, right? Let me share my screen right quick. Hey, because one thing for sure, are you sitting back chilling, not having a care in the world? Hey, they planning out your demise right now. Right now, man. And it's called the King Alfred plan. All right, I want to touch on this lesson. All right, and read this. Go into it a little bit and pull out some scriptures. Lord willing, you get edified, man, at the end of the day. It's called the King Alfred plan. It goes into the Rex. It says right here, code name Rex 84 plan. All right, and let's see what this plan is talking about. Let's get straight into it. Matter of fact, let's warm up with one or two precepts. Right? We all got to do our diligence and research, right? But there's brothers and sisters that can't. That they don't have a mindset to go into these kind of things. So, you got other brothers that go into these kind of things and explain, break it down for the next brother or sister who seek learning. Right? So this is 2 Timothy chapter 2 and 15. It says, "Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth." All right, so when you going into the word of truth, when you breaking down the scriptures, you always have to back it up with archaeological evidence and history. Right, and we're going today. We're gonna try to touch on both, man. So we're supposed to study to show ourselves approved, man. But at the end of the day, like I said, there's some people, they can't go into these kind of things, right? They don't know what these kind of things are talking about. Right, so that's when we go to Sirach. We go to Sirach chapter 33 and 17. Sirach 33 and 17, it says, "Consider that I labor not for myself only, but for all of them that seek learning." Right, so we don't labor for ourselves. We don't hide this wisdom. We bring it forth to our people so that they can be warned. Right, like the Most High told us, we are all watchmen. Right, if you in this truth, you're a watchman. Right, whether you're man or a woman. Right, and then it says, "Hear me, O ye great men of the people, and hearken with your ears, ye rulers of the congregation." So this is the spirit of the Most High God speaking through Sirach, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Timothy, Paul, even Yahweh Shah. So we have to look at it also, us. That's why the first thing we do, we give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, why Yahweh Shah, for giving us the spirit and power to do these lessons. Right? So, hey, it was on my spirit to go over this right now. Hey, let's touch on it. So right here it says, there are not many people who know about the King Alfred plan, right? And that's why we're going over it also. It says, I first heard about it back in the 70s, which is the King Alfred plan. It was a plan drawn up by the U.S. government to put black people and others in concentration camps. And that others, we know that's talking about the natives and the Mexicans. It says put them in concentration camps, right? And that goes directly with the scriptures, right? Us going into captivity. So let's go to a concentration camp. Right, so there's the Nazi concentration camps. Show my screen. Okay. So lock it. Right, so this is dealing with the first concentration camps in Germany. Right, you see they're all in one fence. They all using the same bathroom. And they've been treated like slaves at the end of the day. And this is exactly what they have set up in today's society in America, Babylon the Great, who was supposed to be, according to the 13th Amendment, you're supposed to be free from chattel slavery, right? But here it is. You have a Rex 84 plan or a King Alfred plan set up, which is it's a policy, which is set up to put you in concentration camps, right? And it's going to tell us why. All right, so the first concentration camp was in Germany dealing with Hitler, right? So let's go back to it. All right, so it says, it was a plan drawn up by the U.S. government to put black people and others in concentration camps, since in the case of black people not having a place to be deported to, right? Like our homeland. They're not going to send us back to Israel because they already set up, heathens there. It says the plan was to build or find places to lock them up. And that's why you have these private prisons or just a regular prison, right? There's a prison that was sued for not having enough inmates, all these concentration camps, right? It says, but this specifically, this King Alfred plan is concentration camps with guillotines, right? Torture tactics, right? And this is what the scriptures go into, right? The same way they did Yahushua, they're going to try to do you. It says it was officially known as Rex 84, right? And that's code. It says the King Alfred plan was a CIA-led scheme supporting an international effort to eliminate people of African descent, right? So it's not just the concentration camps. It goes into a lot of other things too, man. Like bio warfare, right? Dealing with the, poisonous through the food, right? Poisonous through the air. They got purple rain. There's many different ways that they use to eliminate us, right? And it was all set up by the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, right? And those people are ghosts. You don't even know who these people are, right? When you use the CIA, they be your next door. He on his grass, cutting his grass, but he a CIA agent, right? And he's plotting on your demise. But it says eliminated people of African descent. Why is they just targeting African descent, right? Because they know we're the children of Israel, man. This right here should tell you that, right? This goes into Psalms 83. Let's get that right quick. Let's go to Psalms 83. And let's see what it says, right? Let's get the classic scripture, right? Psalms 83 and 1. It says, keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace and be not still, O God, right? It says, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. So it's not just America that has this plan, because there's Israelites all over, there's African descent, so-called African descent all over the world. So it's not just America where they have this plan set up, man. That's why they're trying to set up this one world government, right? So that they can have us all in concentration camps, right? At the end of the day, they don't need us no more. That's how they feel, right? This plan was executed in 1967. So you ask yourself, why hasn't they went through with it yet, right? We're approaching that time rapidly. That's the whole point of bringing this out. But it says, for lo, thy enemies have made a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones, right? Crafty counsel, right? They come up with these kind of crafty counsels, King Alfred plans, Rex 84, the McCarran Act, right? The Subversive Act, right? The Patriot Act, right? You got the warrant law, right? Hotel Pro. Hey, all of this is crafty counsel that they set up against the nation of Israel. And when we read in this article, it's going to tell us, it's going to give us specific reasons on why they would implement this King Alfred plan. It's already set up. Only thing they have to do is declare a national emergency, right? But Trump did that when he was in office. So if you really, paying attention, you will see we're getting closer and closer to this time right here, right? You already have what they call conspiracy theories. I forgot the dude's name, but he was on live TV, showing how they got concentration camps with guillotines in them, right? He just wasn't showing us whose head was going in them, right? But it says they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance, right? And so in today's society, this Israel, it would be African descent, right? So it says, back to the article, it says, since in the case of black people not having a place to be deported, the plan was to build or find places to lock them up. It says, let me highlight it. It was officially known as Rex 84. The King Alfred plan was a CIA scheme supporting an international effort eliminating black people of African descent. Although they claimed its existence was fictional, of course, right? They have to do that. That's how Satan does it, right? He hides the lies. He hides the truth with lies, right? It says specifically because the truth is there. We seen the coffins, the 500,000 coffins in Atlanta, Georgia, right? We see these kind of things that add up to this being the truth, but they'll cover it up with something else, right? It says it defined how to deal with the threat of a black uprising in the United States by cordoning off black people and putting them in concentration camps in the event of a major racial incident. Bro, if you look at how we're waking up in this truth and we're proclaiming war on the heathen, we're a threat to their society, it violates the Monroe Doctrine, and it goes right into this King Alfred plan. So I'm going to read this part again right here. It says it defined how to deal with the threat of a black uprising in the United States of cordoning off black people and putting them into concentration camps in the event of a major racial incident, right? So I want to pull this out. This is in Psalms also. This is Psalms 50, because the Lord told us that he was going to raise up. He said he was going to stand us up before their face. Right? And this is the things that they fear. They are so afraid of. And that's why they have things like the King Alfred plan, right? Or the McCarran Act. They have these kind of things, right? Because they're afraid. Hey, any day now, they're going to implement this. They're going to say it's a national emergency. And you can Google this right now. It only takes a couple of hours for the National Guard to be out on the streets, right? In your local neighborhood, right? Hey, that's just what it is, man. So one day you're going to wake up and National Guard is going to be outside. Then what? It all go. And when you do see them, that's what this is talking about right here. Right. So this is Psalms chapter 50. And I'm going to start at 16. It says, but unto the wicked God said, what hast thou to do my statutes, or that thou shalt take my covenant in thy mouth, seeing thou hast hated instruction and cast my words behind thee? So I'm starting at 16 to prove that it's talking to the wicked. We know, according to Malachi 1, who the wicked is, right? But that's not the point. The point is, it says, when thou sawest a thief, then thou consentest with him, and have been partakers with adulterers. It says, thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit, right? And this is the point right here. It says, thou sittest and speakest against thy brother, thou slanderest thy own mother's son. So this is talking about Jacob and Esau. He's talking to Esau, but he's talking about his brother Jacob, right? We got the same mother, right? Rebecca, Isaac and Rebecca. It says, verse 21, these things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as one as thyself, right? Because if we read Zechariah 11 and 5, this is what they were saying, right? Zechariah 11 and 5. It says, I'm going to start at 4. Thus said the Lord, it said, Yahweh, why Yahweh Shah, feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. So like the Most High said, thou thoughtest that I was altogether with thee, because I kept silence. But we know that's not the case. This is the time frame. This is the time period where the Lord is actually waking us up and proving that he was never with them, right? So Psalms 50 and 21, these things as I have done, and I kept silent, thou thoughtest that I was altogether such as thyself. It says, but I will reprove thee, right? I'm going to correct you. I'm going to show you that I was never with you. And this is the point. And set them in order before thine eyes. He's going to set us in order before their eyes, and what they call a threat of a black uprising in the United States, right? They know prophecy. They know they know what's going on, right? And they know that their time is short. That's why they're coming down with this great wrath, man. And pretty soon it's going to be unbelievable wrath, man. You're going to think that Esau is the physical counterpart of Satan, man. That's where your mind is going to be at, man. We already got people saying it, right? Well, when I forgot what state that was, and when it froze over, you know, they were saying that they see Esau's horns because Esau wasn't helping them. Or Hurricane Katrina, man. When they implemented the National Guard in Hurricane Katrina, you got people. Hey, people will tell you, man. One of the general, he from there, And he'll tell you, man, they was down there killing them people, man. And people that was on them houses, swimming, trying to find a level, trying to find houses to get on so that they can be warm and safe. Bro, National Guard was killing those people, man. And they're going to do the same thing when they implement them here, man. The National Guard is a killing machine, right? But the Lord said he's going to set us in order before their face. This is what they fear. And now that it's happening, and it's happening at a large, massive amount of numbers, they're getting so afraid that they're crapping in their pants, man. Straight up. So let's get another one for that one. Then we get back to the article. All right, so this is Ezekiel 37. Let's see what the Lord say. Hey, and this goes against the Monroe Doctrine. Let me pull that up right quick, too. All right, I'm going to read this Ezekiel 37 and 7. Ezekiel 37 and 7, it says, matter of fact, I'm going to just get the point. Ezekiel 37 and 9. Then said he unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus said the Lord Yahweh, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain that they may live. So what is that breath talking about? That we know it's not talking about a literal breath, and that's just what it is, man. When it's talking about a breath, it's talking about life, man. Us coming back to our nationality, us coming back to our heritage, man. That's what it's talking about. In fact, let me just do this. It's like, I don't know what the hell. Why is it going so slow? All right, but I guess he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived. It says, and stood upon their feet an exceeding great army. And this is what Esau is so afraid of, man. They work so hard to make us docile, right? Make us good slaves. But what they did is they actually created martyrs, man. They created martyrs, right? So let me get this Genesis 2 right quick. Us becoming that exceeding great army, man, it is killing Esau. It's making him so afraid, man, because he know once that happened, his time is up. You know his time is up once that happened. All right, so let's get that breath right quick. This is Genesis 2 and 7. And the Lord God formed man of the dust and of the ground, the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And man became a living soul. And if you read Baruch chapter 4 and 1, keeping the commandments brings you to life. So the Lord, when he breathed his breath into us, and Genesis 2 and in Ezekiel 37 is talking about giving them commandments. He gave us our heritage back, man. And this is something that Esau knows and he's afraid of, man. All right, I believe this is it right here. So Salakia is going slow. All right. One second. Right, it says right here, the Monroe Doctrine, and this is, like I said, we're going against this according to the United States of America by the Lord waking us up according to Psalms 50 and Ezekiel 37. It says the Monroe Doctrine is best known as U.S. policy towards the Western Hemisphere, right? Buried in a routine annual message delivered. Man, I'm telling you, they got so many policies, bills, executive orders that's against us, man. They just don't bring them out. But these things are already been set up. This was set up in 1823. The King Alfred plan was set up in 1960. It says delivered to Congress by President James Monroe in December 1823. The doctrine warns European nations, and we know that's not just European nations, it's talking about any nation. This is where you get the word terrorist from. It says the doctrine warns European nations that the United States will not tolerate further colonization, right, or puppet monarchs. And a puppet monarchs is people like Malcolm X, people like the Hebrew Israelites. We're puppet monarchs. We're telling people they need to stand up and come back to the laws of God so that this society can be destroyed, man. Right? And this is going against the Monroe Doctrine that they established, man. So therefore, they considered us terrorists, man. That's what COINTELPRO is about. That's exactly what COINTELPRO is about. But it says right here, going back to this, it says it defined how to deal with the threat of a black uprising in the United States, right? By cordoning off black people and putting them in concentration camps in the event of a major racial incident. Wouldn't you say this is a major racial incident? Us saying that the kingdom of heaven is only for the blacks, Hispanics, and natives, right? The southern kingdom and the northern kingdom, right? This is something that goes against these plans that they set up. And they already know prophecy. That's why they set these things up. That's how we can link these things up with prophecy. It says the plan was drafted allegedly in the to round up black people at the start of race riots. And the scriptures talk about race riots, man. Let's get that. The scripture said there's going to be race riots at the end times, man, the last days, right? So they know exactly what's going on, but race riots fear them. Because why? Because he tells you in Jeremiah 51:20 that we're his battle axe, and he's going to use us to break the nations. So he fears that. So what he's going to try to do, he think we're weak, so he's going to try to move in when we're weak. That's what Esau does. But this is 2nd Ezra 15, and I'm gonna start at 15. It says, "For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands." So there you have it, man. And in 2nd Ezra 15:15, it tells you that there is going to be race riots. One people shall rise up and fight against another. Hey, Yahushua said the same thing in Matthew 24. Right? So this is the plan that was set up for those kind of things. It says segregate them. It says segregate them and move them to concentration camps or a separate location and kill them off. This is the objective, man. Why? Because they know we're the next ruling power, man. And it tells you that in the scriptures, man. They know this already. They don't want to go into captivity, so they would have to eliminate us, man. Right? They would have to. Right? This is 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and 9. 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, it says, "For Esau is the end of the world," right? The end of their society, right? The end of their rulership, right? It says, "And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth." And this is what they're afraid of. This is why they're going to try to take us to concentration camps and remote locations and kill us off, man. Starting with the leaders of, different camps, right? Man, conscience people, period. Like Egyptology, all of them leaders in them different congregations, man, they come in for every single last one of them, man. Not just the Hebrew Israelites, but us more particularly, because we have the true word of the Most High God, man. Right? The judgment of them, right? Other nations don't have the judgment that's going to happen to the white man, right? Only the Hebrew Israelites have it, right? And this is what they more afraid of than anything, right? So their objective is to separate them and move them to concentration camps or a separate location and kill them off, right? By way of guillotine, torture tactics, however they got it set up, because different concentration camps, they're going to be using different things, right? Like, let me pull this up. Like, this is the kind of stuff that they do. They try to say, like, things like this is fake. See, they're trying to put this fact check, fake claim about U.S. purchase of 30,000 guillotines has circulated for years, right? And this is 2020. They still talking about this. This is what a guillotine looks like, if you're wondering. But this is what they do, man. They try to make it seem like it's fake. This is what Satan do. Working guillotine up for auction in France. You're not dealing with that. But it tells you right here, man. But look, they do. I guess we can look at this. Because if you ain't never seen what a guillotine look like, it should be a chance to look. See. Let's go back a little bit. Okay. These is what guillotines look like, man. That's what they're gonna be putting our heads in. Hey, and look at this as an honorable thing, because that means you're important. You are important. Hey, and it tells you that in Revelations 20. That's just what's gonna happen. But one thing for sure, you can Google, guillotine slayings, right? It's like 4 or 5 seconds, and it's over with. It's an easy death, man. It's not like drowning. It's not like catching them nukes. So it's an easy death, man. It's a real easy death, man. Because like when I first came into the truth, I feared things like that. So I would go and do research on it. Hey, it's like 4 to 8 seconds, bro. 4 to 8 seconds. Right, that your body's still reacting to the head being cut off. But it says, for years a claim has circulated online about guillotines making a comeback, and the U.S. purchasing 30,000 of them. So why would the United States of America need 30,000 guillotines? Right, it goes into prophecy. It says social media posts cite no sources in stating that not only did the government buy 30,000 guillotines, but Congress lobbied for or approved them. It says they approved them. Posts also don't say where a government acquires 30,000 guillotines. Why? Because they're in the concentration camps. And that's just what it is, man. That's just what it is. Let's see if we can find something else. This is real, man. This ain't no fairy tale. This ain't nothing fake, man. This is real. And they're in these secret camps. That's why you can't find them. That's why you don't see pictures of them, right? Because they already set up in these camps, man. They put them in, ships where you can't see them, or they put them in planes and they go right over your head where you can't see them, but they will not have them directly in your face, man. What they call hiding in plain sight. Right? You would never think that 30,000 guillotines are on a boat. Or you'll never think that they're in the sky flying right over your head, being set up for your demise. Right? I don't think that's anything. Well, let me get back to this. Right, so I'm going to start right here again. It says the plan, Salakia. The plan was drafted allegedly in the 50s to round up black people at the start of riots, segregate them, and move them to concentration camps or a separate location and kill them off. It says literally, this plan first appeared publicly in John A. Williams, his 1967 novel, The Man Who Cried I Am, which was a fictional account of the life and death of Richard Wright. So they're saying it's fictionalized. Basically it's fake, right? But we know it's not fake because you can go and do the research on how they literally ordered these 30,000 guillotines and the Congress approved of them. The Congress is the ones who approve of everything, right? Why would this be out if it's fake, man? Right? It says, we know that the concept is not too much of a stretch because we know for a fact that J. Edgar Hoover devised intelligence programs, COINTELPRO, and we're about to click on that in a second. It says to monitor the movements of black militants and to eliminate them in the 1960s, right? Starting with Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, those kind of men, right? Marcus Garvey, The FBI was created to stop any uprising of Black, Hispanic, and Native monarchs, right? The uprising, the uplifting of their people. The FBI was to stop that. That's why they got hip hop music, right? The FBI is they the ones in charge of the hip hop music, man. They know who's killing who. They know who's dying. They know why they dying, right? Pimp C, all of these people, man, they the ones who doing this to these people, because Pimp C was a man. He was ready to bring his people together. So what they do, they killed him, right? And there's many more, man. Like Dr. Sebi, right? He was coming up on ways to heal certain diseases that would kill the big pharma, right? It would kill their plans. But it says J. Edgar Hoover devised intelligence programs, COINTELPRO, to monitor the movement of Black militants and to eliminate them in the 1960s. As a result, word of the King Alfred plan spread throughout the Black community, and the truth of its existence was often to be unchallenged. It says it also bears similarities to rumors in the early 1950s surrounding the McCarran Act, and you should go look up that. I was going to do a small lesson on that pretty soon. The McCarran Act is really almost the same thing as the King Alfred plan, just a little bit different. And you got the Subversive Act, you got the Anti-Communist Act, you got the Patriot Act, and you got many different acts that they set up just for the Blacks, Hispanics, and Natives. It says in which political subversives were to be rounded up and placed in concentration camps during a national emergency. And Trump, how many times did Trump declare a national emergency, man? But they didn't move in. Why? Because it's all practice, right? If you look up the Rex 83 plan, it's a bill where the United States gave the military the authority to rehearse or practice military drills on American soil, right? It says in which political subversive were to be rounded up and placed in concentration camps during a national emergency, as we was done to the Japanese during World War II. Straight up, man. Hey, and they got something called right now, man. While you thinking you in the safety of your home, you have no idea that the Biden administration, not only that, he's setting up the National Guard to come and knock on your door and give you the poison, but the objective also is to take away your weapons, right? So that you can be naked out here, man. That's what the whole point of the police is for, man. They make an oath to disarm all Blacks, Hispanics, and Natives, right? All right, so this is COINTELPRO. It says the word is counterintelligence program. That's what COINTELPRO goes into. The COIN is the counter, intel is the intelligence, and pro goes into program. COINTELPRO, counterintelligence program. It says was a series of covert and illegal projects conducted by the United States. So they're going against their own laws, basically. Just 1 second. All right, so they're going against their own laws. It says United States Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, aimed at surveilling, right, infiltrating, discrediting, and disrupting domestic American political organizations, right, the Hebrew Israelites and many different other organizations. But it says they're surveilling them. They're watching us. When whatever camp, brothers is in, they might think that, they a little camp, ain't nothing really going on, but man, they watching you, bro. You are bringing your people back to God. You are bringing them back to your heritage, right? And once you come back to your heritage, Esau's kingdom goes down, right? We're flooding them out, man, with all this truth. And so they have to put surveillance on you. Like we're in Oklahoma. We probably have the Oklahoma FBI surveillance in us, right? IUIC is another camp that's in Oklahoma. They have the Oklahoma FBI surveillancing them. This ain't no joke, man. They really watching. Whether they watching the videos or they out there a couple of, like a half a click away with binoculars watching you, man. It says infiltrating, setting up scoffers, man, setting up brothers who portraying to be Israelites, and they be brothers, but they have their intentions are not pure, right? Their intentions is to come and to cause confusion. It says infiltrating and discrediting, right? Making us look bad, right? Saying that we're burning down churches, we're blowing up churches, saying that we kill women, right? And disrupting domestic American political organizations. It says FBI records show COINTELPRO resources targeted groups and individuals the FBI deemed subversive. And if you look at the Subversive Act, they have an act according to this, man. They have an act. It says refers to a process by which the values and principles of a system in place are contradicted or reversed in an attempt to transform the established social order and a structure of power, authority, hierarchy, and social forms. Subversion can be described as an attack on the public moral, right? And this is these kind of laws right here. They might look like they're nothing, but these are the kind of laws that's going to make them move in, man. And they're going to have all the authority to, right? Like I said, it's going to take a couple of hours for the National Guard to be in whatever state you in and to surround you and, move in at the end of the day, man. But this is the time where our faith going to be tested. It's going to be some certain situations where you ain't going to think you can make it, man. Right? Because of how they're going to come in. Because the scriptures say they're going to come in like a flood, man. But first, before I get that flood, let's get this in Revelation right quick. Like I said, man, it's going to seem like you ain't going to make it. It's going to seem like that. Right? But that's the test your faith, man. All right, let's get this in Revelations 12. So this is Revelations 12:12. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. Right? So he says, rejoice, heavens, but the earth, woe unto you. And then he says, and the sea. For the devil, right? We know who the devil is. We know who the deceiver is. It says, for the devil, the deceiver, is come down unto you, having great wrath. He pissed off. Why? Because when his kingdom come down, our kingdom comes up. He know he has to go into slavery, man. He know all the things that he done to us. The scriptures tell us to give him double. That's a scary thing, man. So he's pissed off first because his kingdom is falling down, and he's afraid because he know he has to go into captivity, man. He has to get double for what he done unto us. Right? You will be scared too. It says, for the devil has come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Right? His kingdom is falling. His kingdom is crumbling. Right? You look at the poison mandates and all that, bro. That's all signs of them falling. That's all that is, man. They're trying to hurry up and establish this new world order, this NWO. Right? And Lord willing, Sunday I can go over that, the new world order. But that's what it's all talking about. That's why they're pushing this so much, man. Here it is. It's been 2 years later. This is 2 years for the world's worst disease, right? They putting holds on it because of Christmas is coming up. We're not going to make it mandatory right now because we have Christmas coming up. But this is supposed to be the world's worst disease on earth, man. It's all a joke, man. But at the end of the day, he's pushing and pushing and pushing, right? Austerity measures, right? So the devil has come down unto you, knowing that he had but a short time. Isaiah 59:19. It says, so shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. It says, when the enemy shall come in like a flood. Hey, when you look at a flood, bro, it comes in fast and strong, man, knocking stuff over as it go, man. It's not letting nothing get in his way. Right? How the devil is going to come down with that great wrath. He's going to come in like a flood, right? So one day you're just going to wake up and they just going to be outside, right? And the only thing you can do is call on the Most High, because it's going to be a point, where they're going to allow you to go outside for certain things, but then the objective is you can not come outside at all, and they're going to try to starve you out, just like they did in 70 AD. Right? They surrounded us. They cut off our water supply. They cut off our food supply, to the point where, we was eating our children and we was drinking their blood. This is happening in 70 AD, and it's going to happen again, according to 2 Ezra 16. It's going to happen again. History repeats itself. The things that have been and shall be. Right? So it says, it shall come in like a flood. But it says, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard. So the Lord is going to protect his elect men, women, and children, right? From this flood that's coming in, right? Hey, straight up like that. So, hey, let's keep going. Let's get this in Psalms. Let's go back to Psalms. Hey, so this right here, hey, is very important to be looking into, man. This ain't nothing to be taken lightly, man, because they setting up bills right under your nose, while you chilling. And the Lord tells you, he tells you to study these kind of things, right? You can look at it like, the Lord got me. I ain't got to worry about those kind of things. But the Lord tells you to study to show yourself approved. You got to know what you're dealing with. It's better to know what's coming than to be caught off guard, right? Right. So this is Psalms chapter 2:1. It says, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Right? We just read the same thing in Revelations 12:12. The devil is coming down unto you having great wrath. Right? And then it tells you right here, King David is asking, why do the heathen rage? Why are they so mad? It says, and the people imagine a vain thing. What's that vain thing? It's going to tell us. It says, the kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers take counsel together. Right? Psalms chapter 83. Right? They all come together with this new world. And it's the new world is directly targeted against the blacks, Hispanics, and natives, man. When they implement this new world order, that's when they come and round us up. Right? And this is no game, man. This is definitely about to happen soon, man. There's no time to be playing games at all. Right? Because, hey, the only one that can save you is the Lord, and he's not going to save no one that's not doing what they're supposed to be doing according to the scripture. And yeah, we know demons are out. We know demons are powerful. We understand that, but that's what prayer and fasting is for. Right? If you can't overcome certain demons, bro, you go get help. But when you sitting here acting like, I don't want to say it, but you sit here acting like, yo, don't stink. And bro, you're gonna have to suffer those consequences. Right? Everybody got something they got to pay for. We're all subject to payment. But when you pray and you ask the Lord for mercy, you will get mercy. But if you around here acting like nothing gonna happen to you, something gonna happen to you, man. It's gonna be horrible, right? Psalms 2:2. The kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers take counsel together, right? Against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, right? So they're not only coming against us, they're trying to stop the Lord too. That's why they have what they call the guardian, right? And it's supposed to be a space force to stop any. Trump said the space force is to stop any infiltrating coming from the outer realm. They're going to try to stop them. And they know who's coming out that sky, man. So this is what Psalms 2 is talking about. Them trying to stop the Lord from returning, right? Because they want to be the gods of the earth. They like where they are right now, right? It says, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us, right? Because the Most High set the Israelites up to be the ruling power of the earth. But Esau can't deal with that. Esau don't want to deal with that. Esau know when we wake up, his kingdom comes down. First through verbal, through our speech, us waking up our people and proclaiming their judgment. The fact that we're proclaiming their judgment, it sets off a vibration and it makes their kingdom to crumble. Right? It's a vibration that's going on, man. Us teaching our people and our people coming down, man. The curse is being placed on them. Right? And not only just Esau, man, all the heathen. It says, he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in derision. Right? And then you go to Job chapter 5, it tells you, man, that the Lord is not the only one that's going to be laughing. Right? It says that the Israelites we're going to be laughing also. We're going to be laughing at the heathen, when they're trying to set up this new world order to where we can't buy and sell, say we have a mark. Right? But those are things that, Lord willing us, we're not going to have to worry about. Right? And like I said, that's Job chapter 5:22. It says, let me keep going. It says, He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in derision. Derision, if you go to derision, it means mockery and ridicule, right? The Lord going, because at the end of the day, no matter how much they set up, this new world order, right? The Lord, their kingdom is still falling, is still crumbling, right? Let's get this in Daniel. It tells you that in Daniel, man. Let me get that. So this is all we waiting on. When we look at these Rex 84, McCarran Act, Subversive Act, all of these acts, man, it's something to laugh at, man. Because they're not going to be successful. All right, I'm about to get that. This is Daniel chapter 2 and 44. This is Daniel 2 and 44. It says, and in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom, right? Which shall never be destroyed. And that's talking about the kingdom of heaven with the 12 gates, which the Israelites is going to rule. It says, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people. That's one thing that Esau is afraid of too. He know that he has come down and he will never be in rulership again, man. And he's been in rulership for a long time, man. From the Greeks, the Romans, all the way up until these dirty Americans. It says, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, including the American kingdom. It says, and it shall stand forever. Right? So they know these kind of things. They know these prophecies. Us breaking other kingdoms, breaking them down, man. All right, let's get that in Jeremiah. This is something that scares the crap out of Esau, man. When you see the president talking on a podium, man, and he just can't get it together, man. They afraid, man. The Congress is afraid. They're all afraid, man. They're all afraid of you and that the fact that you woke up. Right? This is Jeremiah 51 and 20. Jeremiah 51 and 20, it says, thou art my, and he's talking to, I started 19. The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things. And Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name. Right? So it's talking about Jacob, the 12 tribes of Israel. Right? So let's keep reading. It says, thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations. Oh, that's crazy. It says, for with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. All of the kingdoms, man, starting with Yahweh Shah Mashiach. The Lord is going to use Yahweh Shah and the elect men of Israel to break in pieces these nations, these kingdoms. Right? And Esau don't want his kingdom to go down. He's spent well over 500 years trying to get this kingdom established. And then when he get it at its peak, it starts to come down. Right? It says, and with thee will I break in pieces the horse and his rider, and with thee will I break in pieces the chariot and his rider. With thee also will I break in pieces man and woman, and with thee will I break in pieces old and young, and with thee will I break in pieces the young man and the maid. And it goes on down and down. Who the Lord is going to use to break in pieces these people, man. It says the chariot and his rider. That goes into their military force, their co-equal force, right? The co-equal 6, they call it, right? You got the USS Seawolf submarine that they just created, right? You got the USS Gerald R. Ford ship that they just built, right? It's the biggest ship on Earth, supposed to be the biggest ship on Earth, right? It's the biggest warship on Earth that they just created. Right. And they're talking about like how this thing can do death spins and, basically like it can turn around faster than a 1,000-pound man. It can turn around faster than that. One of the biggest ships on Earth can turn around that fast. Hey, that's technology that the Lord said he was going to let them get, and then he was going to destroy them. All right, let's get that. Get that right quick. So the Lord want them to get as far as they are right now, right? Just so he can show forth his glory, his power. All right, this is Obadiah chapter 1 and 3. It says, the pride of thine heart have deceived thee, right? What makes them prideful? Technology. Technology has made them as prideful as they are right now, man. Right? It says, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. So the Lord says, though you get as high as you can, you know, an eagle, they at the top of the mountain. Their nest is at the top of a mountain, right? Some of the highest mountains. The Lord says, then I'm going to bring you down to the ground. Then I'm going to destroy your kingdom. Right? And these are prophecies that they are afraid of. The whole book of the Obadiah, that's probably the most one that scares them, because they know it's directly to them. They literally have their own book, one chapter, and it speaks about their whole demise. Right? And that's why they set up things like COINTELPRO, man. Right? The CIA, the FBI, the Alphabet boys, they're coming up with plans and ideas using mad scientists, stealing mad scientists from Russia and different countries, because they definitely do that. They be stealing each other's mad scientists and forcing them to create certain things, right? That's why you have technology the way it is. That's what most of these wars was about, right? But that's what just, them trying to come up, against the Most High God, like we just read in Psalms 2, right? So let's get this right quick. Let's get this in 2nd Ezra. So I want to go into this no knock one also. This is, matter of fact, let me just pull this up right quick. It's like it. So we have a no knock warrant. So you thinking you comfortable in the safety of your own home where you're not, right? It's the 4th Amendment, where they can come into your home without knocking, right? They can directly go to the office, get keys, and come straight in your house and grab you up. Or they don't have to grab you up. They can swear that you got a gun and just kill you in your own home, right? And most of us have guns in our home to protect our home, like the scriptures tell you to, right? But they're going to use that for their advantage, man. It says a no knock warrant is a search warrant authorizing police officers to enter certain premises without first knocking and announcing their presence or purpose prior to entering to the premise. So they can come in without knocking or announcing their presence or the purpose prior to entering the premises. So they don't have to tell you nothing. They can just come into your crib and do whatever they want, and they can lie and say you had this or you did this or whatever the case, right? And they can take you straight to the FEMA camp, right? That's the whole point of me bringing this up, because you think you safe, but there's going to be a point in time where they literally come into your home with this no knock warrant that they set up, right? The 4th Amendment, right? And they're going to take you straight to a FEMA camp, right? And the scriptures talk about half of the city going into captivity, right? Like they did in 70 AD, right? A lot of people, millions fled into the mountains, but a lot of people stayed in the homeland and had to deal with, the rape, rob, and murder of Esau and the Romans, right? The Greco-Romans, right? So it says, so like it says, search warrants are, let me just start right here. It says search warrants are issued where an entry pursuant to the knock and announce rule. An announcement prior to entry would lead to the destruction of the objects for which the police are searching or would compromise the safety of the police or another individual. So this is their excuse. They're saying, we don't have to knock or anything because you can be able to hide your drugs. You can be able to hide your gun. You can be able to hide whatever they coming in for, whatever. This is the excuse, though. I'm going to read again. It says, search warrants issued where an entry pursuant to knock and announce rule, like, hey, it's the police. It says would lead to the destruction of the objects for which the police are searching or would compromise the safety of the police or another individual, right? They ain't mentioning at all how, crooked the police department can be and come up with, statutes in the midst of that. It's just none of that, bro. It's just like, all right, we set up a law, the 4th Amendment, the police can come in because we said so. And that's just what it is. It says, according to the Department of Justice, right, the ones who set up the police department, although officers need not to take affirmation affirmative steps to make an independent re-verification of the circumstances already recognized by a magistrate in issuing a no-knock warrant. Such a warrant does not entitle officers to disregard reliable information, clearly negating the existence of exigent circumstances when they actually receive such information before execution of the warrant. So they don't even have to have a clear reason. They can just get the warrant and they can go in, and that's just what it is. And that's what they're going to do pretty soon, right? But it's not going to be police officers. It's going to be the National Guard who comes in, right? And we know how the FBI and the CIA like to do things. They like to come into your home when you asleep. Like you watch any movie, any police shows or anything like that, man, the FBI comes when you're asleep, 3, 4, 5 in the morning, man. You know, you probably in your boxers, and and they come in, man. All right, so these are the times where you don't want to just be sleeping fully naked, man, because you never know what's gonna happen at the end of the day, man. All right, so let's get this in Second Ezra. Right, Second Ezra chapter 16 and 68. It says, "For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you." Right, the same thing we read in Revelation chapter 12 and 12, Isaiah 59, right, and Psalms chapter 2. Right, this is another precept. It says, "For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you." Not everybody, just certain, right? Only the ones that fear the Most High God, they're coming after. Or they're coming after us as a whole, but their primary target, the ones they're going to come for first, right? It says, "Take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols," right? They got, they might offer you the poison, right? The RFID chip. Hey, that's an idol right there within itself, man. And it tells you in Acts. Let me get that in Acts 17 and 29. Acts 17 and 29, it says, "For as much then as we are the offspring of God," right, claim to be the children of the Most High God, right? It says, "Not to think that the Godhead, the Elohim head, is like unto gold or silver or stone graven by art and man's device." So these things that they offer you, it has nothing to do with God at the end of the day, man. So if you take it, you cannot come to the mindset to think that, God is okay with this because I don't want to die, or God wouldn't want me to, or God wouldn't want my to go through this, because that's not, man. It says that this has nothing to do with God, man. You're not about to get mercy or pardon for going out like a coward, man. Straight up. So let's keep reading. It says, verse 69, "And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision." Right? Like the Lord, we read in Psalms 2, it says the Lord shall have them in derision, ridicule, and mockery. That's what derision is. Let's get that right quick. Let's get derision. So right here, it says derision, contemptuous, ridicule, or mockery. Straight up, man. Scoffing, taunting someone, ragging, teasing, right? So it says, "And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision." So even if you do take it, they're going to be laughing and pointing at you like, "We got you," right? You must not want the kingdom that's coming. Straight up, just like they did to Yahushua, man. They was mocking him. They had him in derision. In the book of Luke, they put a blindfold around his face and they were slapping him, and they said, "Prophesy unto us, who hit you?" That's him having derision, man. Mockery and ridicule, right? Scoffing, right? It says, "And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot." They gonna kill you anyways, man. If you comply to anything they have, they're gonna kill you anyways afterwards, man. They might let you live for a little while longer, but eventually they're gonna kill you, man, because they have they have commandments they follow also, and it's called the Georgia Guidestones. Let's get that right quick, Salakia. They have laws that they have to abide by also. Let's see what one of them under the Georgia Guidestones say. prayer. It says, maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. So that's one of the laws. I think it's like 10 laws, 10 laws according to this Georgia Guidestones. And it's supposed to be 2 tablets, man. This is Satan's work. It's supposed to be 2 tablets. Just like it's 2 tablets in the Ark of the Covenant. They doing the same thing, just in the reverse. And their objective is to get humanity under 500 million, man. So the blacks, Hispanics, and natives, they got to go. You got to go, man. And that's just what it is, right? According to them. But the Lord is going to lift up a standard, right? For his people, for the ones that doing what they're supposed to do in these last days, right? These demons, they're going to come out. They're going to come stronger than ever, man, because they're trying to sift you out, right? But that's where prayer comes in, man. That's what Yahweh Shah is about. That's why we follow the Lamb, whithersoever he goeth. All right. So it says, verse, I'm going to read 69 again. And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot. It says, for there shall be in every place, everywhere you go, it does not matter. It says, there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. So let's go to insurrection. It says there's going to be a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. It says an insurrection. It says an uprising, like we just read in the article, an uprising against civil authority, right? Your local government. It says one who rises in revolt against the government or its laws, straight up. But it says basically it's just an uprising, rise against, right? Lift oneself, stand high, gather force. That's a good one. Gather force. So let's use that word, force. It says, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities. It says cities, plural. It says a great gathering force or an uprising upon those that fear the Lord. Straight up, man, like the scriptures say, man. And they're going to try to take us to these concentration camps. They're going to be paying people to find Hebrew Israelites, man. Right? Like, man, let's get that. Let's get that in Luke right quick. What did Yahweh Shah say? He told us this was going to happen already. Let me do this. Mark 13. All right, this is Mark 13. And we're going to start at, I want to just get the point. Mark 13 and 11. And this is written in blood. This is Yahweh Shah's words himself. It says, but when they shall lead you and deliver you. In fact, I'm going to start up, because this all goes into what we read, what we going over. It says, verse 7, and when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not yet be yet. Right? And we've been hearing about these wars and rumors of wars. They're just now starting to get popping off, though. Right? So we passed that part. We're in the part where Iran is literally wanting to go to war with Syria. Right? We're in a time where you got in Europe, there's great migration down, going from Belarus down to Poland, and they're trying to go into Germany because of this new world order that's being set up. They don't want to be a part of it. So everybody's starting to migrate, and they're just going to shut the whole world down. Straight up, man. You already got countries already China declared new world order. Australia declared New World Order. All these different countries are already establishing it. They're going to do America last because America is the country that's going to be to get on lock, to comply, man, because of all the so-called freedom that they give in Americans. Right? Like in North Korea, they don't have the same laws as us. Like in North Korea, you cannot have no pictures on your wall if it's not a picture of the president. Straight up. They have different laws than America, man. Right? So let's keep going. It says Mark 13 and 8 now. It says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there should be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famine and troubles. Right? We're dealing with that now. It's not on a high level, but it's there, and it's going to get higher and higher. Right? It says, these are the beginning of sorrows. So these things take time to grow, man, like the scriptures say. Let's get a precept on that. These things take time to grow, but they're happening, and we warn our people on a daily basis. They need to get right. They need to repent. They need to do this. They need to do that. But hey, man, that's all you do. That's all you can do is tell them. Right? If somebody's standing in front of they standing on the highway and the truck is coming, you just screaming, telling them to get out the way, and they don't, that's on them. Right? The blood is off your hands. You're going to have a better conscience knowing that you told them to get out the street. Straight up, man. This is Isaiah 55 and 10. For as the rain cometh down and the snow from heaven, and return not thither, but watereth the earth, and maketh it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower and the bread to the eater, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish the thing that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. So what he told Yahweh in the book of Mark, everything that Yahweh speaks, what did he say? He's not speaking his own word, but him that sent him. He's not speaking his own word, but him that sent him. All right, so let's get that. So this is John chapter 12 and 49, and Lord willing, you understand it. It says, for I have not spoken of myself, but the Father which sent me, he gave me a commandment what I should say and what I should speak. So this is the Most High God speaking, man, even through Yahweh in Mark chapter 13, right? So let's go back to Mark chapter 13. So we just read in Isaiah, the same way rain cometh down, rain and snow, and it watereth the earth, and it bring forth plants, flowers. The Lord says, my word is going to be the same way. It's going to grow slowly but surely, and it's going to bud into a beautiful plant. It's going to bud into a beautiful prophecy that the Lord already foretold. Right? So Mark 13 and 8, one more time. For a nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginning of sorrows. Right? So this is the process of the grass growing. The rain already dropped. The snow already fell on the ground. This is the time where it's growing now. All right. It says, but take heed to yourselves, right? Pay attention. For shall deliver you up to councils and the synagogues. So that's these concentration camps that it's talking about, right? And we're about to go back to Second Ezra, and we're gonna read it out of Zechariah. Right? The thing that have been and shall be. The same way, if you go Google what happened in 70 AD, the same thing gonna happen today. The same thing. They're going to surround you by telling you cannot leave the country without this poison, knowing you ain't going to get it. And they're going to, next thing you know, you're not going to be able to leave your state without getting the poison. The next thing you know, you're not going to be able to go anywhere without it. Right? They already got it established, man, in other places, where these people can't go nowhere without it. Straight up. It's just a matter of time before it get here. That's why we need to be repenting, man. Straight up. So it says, and ye shall be beaten, and ye shall be brought before rulers and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them. Right? The same way Yahweh was beaten, like it tells you in Isaiah 52. And then it really happening in Matthew 27. Straight up. It says, and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them, and the gospel must first be published among all nations. That's happening already. There's camps in every nation, every country, man. It says, but when, and these scriptures, they don't have to happen in exact order. The Lord tell you, he does what he want to do. He makes it happen the way he wants it to happen. right? It says, but when they shall lead you and deliver you up, take no thought beforehand what ye shall speak, neither do ye premeditate, but whatsoever shall be given you in that hour, that speak ye. For it is not ye that speak, but the Holy Ghost. All right? That's self-explanatory. This is the point, though. Now the brother shall betray the brother to death. Right? Your own blood brother, he's going to be so hungry. He's going to be so afraid, right? That he's going to deliver you up, man. Give a damn what y'all went through growing up. He's going to deliver you up if you're an Israelite and you know you're an Israelite and he know you're an Israelite and you keeping these commandments. Because they're going to shift all this energy on us and make it seem like and while we're going through what we're going through is because of the Israelites. That's where this great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord going to come in. It's just a matter of time, man. They already tried to blame us, the Israelites, saying that, we was responsible for that church bombing, right? But it didn't work, right? So they're going to try it again. They're going to keep trying, right? They're going to keep trying. But let's see what the Most High said in the book of Job, right? Let's see what the Most High said. It says Job chapter 5 and 12. Job 5 and 12, it says, he disappointed the devices of the crafty. Right? Who are the crafty? Psalms 83, Psalms 2. They take crafty counsel against thy hidden ones. Right? It says, Salaki, verse 12, it says, he disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. And when you go to enterprise, it goes into success. So they're not going to be successful. Right? He shall lift up a standard against them. Right? He shall have them in derision and in mockery. Right? Because we depend on the Most High God, the creator of all of this. Right? These things that's being set up, right, or set up for the wicked, man, of our people and of the heathen nations, this destruction, right? The day of the Lord's wrath. Right? So going back to Mark 13 and 12, now the brother shall betray the brother to death, and the father the son. So you're going to have fathers turning in their own son, right? Because there's some fathers that don't believe in this truth, but their son do. And they're gonna turn them over to these councils, man. Right? They're gonna, you're gonna come home one day. There's gonna be a decree that there's gonna be on the news. They're gonna say all Hebrew Israelites need to be turned in. There's a reward for it. And here it is. You're gonna have your parents watching it, and they're gonna act like everything is cool. They're gonna be like, hey, go with me somewhere. Right? Or they're gonna be like, stay here. I want us to do something later. And the next thing you know, the FBI surrounding your house, man. And it ain't going to be nothing you can do about it because it might be your lot. Right? But it says, but like, hey, these are things we're not supposed to fear though, man. Because it might not be your lot, even though they try. Right? But somebody has to fulfill this prophecy at the end of the day. Right? So it says, let's continue. It says, and the father, the son, and children shall rise up against their parents. Right? So some of us that has children, they're going to rise up against the parents because, they're not going to be able to go to school with their friends, right? They're not going to be able to go to basketball practice, football practice, whatever practice that they're in. They're not going to be able to enjoy life like they once before. So they're going to rise up against the parents, man, and they're going to turn their parents over. And that's just what it is, man. It says, hey, I'm changing this. You just have to prepare for it, man. That's all you can do. It's better that than to be caught off guard, man. Because this stuff is definitely going to happen. And it's so close that you have no idea. It says, and shall cause them to be put to death. It says, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Straight up, man. So let's go back to 2nd Ezra chapter 16. Now that we had that, 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and 70. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Straight up. That's where it goes into brother portraying brother, the father, the son, and the kids rising up against the parents. Right? Because these things are going to start to happen. And they're going to be like, if you want things to go back to normal, then you need to turn these people in. We need to get all these people dealt with. It says, let me keep going. It says, 1. They like madmen, sparing none. And this is speaking about the National Guard, man. they're going to be like madmen sparing none. Right. And let's get into madmen sparing none. Let's go to Zechariah right quick. The same thing they did in 70 AD, man. When they finally got in that, when they finally broke down the east wall, bruh, they was like madman sparing none, man. Right? In fact, let me get that in Psalms 2, Psalms 139. Because it tells you that. In Psalms 139 also. God, so this is Zechariah 14:1. Behold, the day of the Lord, and this happened in 70 AD, Zechariah 14, it says, behold, the day of the Lord cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. All the things that you work hard for, all the things that you have, back then it was divided among you, and it's going to be divided among you in these days too, man. This is them coming in like madmen sparing none. And if you keep reading, it says that they're going to be taking away your goods also. Everything you worked hard for, right? It says, for I will get, and that's how you know not all this stuff, it doesn't mean nothing, man. Right? If it means something to you, man, your heart ain't in the right place. But it says, verse 2, for I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle. Right? That goes into NATO, EU. These, it's not going to be just American troops, man. It's going to be different country troops, man, helping with this objective all around the world, man. It says, in the city, Salakia, and the city shall be taken, right? And the city shall be taken, right? It says, and the houses rifled. The houses rifled as in they kick in your door, the no warrant, the no knock warrant. They're going to kick in your door. They're going to be taking away your goods. And they're going to, they just be going through all your drawers. Right? They're going to be going through you, whatever they want out of your crib. Let's just use that. It says, and the women ravished. And half of the city shall go forth into captivity. They shall go forth into captivity. What's modern day captivity? Prison. What's modern day captivity? Concentration camps, FEMA camps, right? These people don't know, like how Donald Trump signed America over to FEMA. Right? FEMA is in charge of America as we speak right now, man. That's why they're the ones who's getting involved with everything. You always see, when you see the president, you always see FEMA behind him. Those are FEMA. They FEMA, man. They tell him what to do and what to say, man. What he need to be doing. Right? Concentration camps. If you Google FEMA, that's what that is, concentration camps. It says, and the women shall be ravished. We know what ravished is, man. These military troops, they're going to be having their way with these women, man. But it's going to be a lot of judgment on these women for not obeying the law, statutes, commandments, man. Straight up. But a lot of women, they're not going to be touched because the Lord is going to put a hedge of protection around them. Right? But it says, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city, because a lot of people are going to comply. They're going to, they're going to consent. Right? But we just read in 2nd Ezra, it says, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trod their foot. They're still going to be put to death, man. Just like they did in the homeland. Right? It says, then shall the Lord go forth and fight against those nations as when he fought in the day of battle. Straight up, man. That's when the Lord gonna come and defend us. And that's what we about to read in 2nd Ezra chapter 16. It goes into all of that. But this is Psalms 139 and 19. It says, surely thou wilt slay the wicked, O God. Oh, that's not it. Let me see. 137. Yeah, kind of 137 and 7. It says, remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, 70 AD, who said, raise it even to the foundation thereof. And raise it, when you go into that word raise it, it means destroy it. So they was like, destroy it. And they was like throwing Molotov bombs on people's property, and they just burned the whole thing down. They burned the temple down, everything, man. So they was like, destroy it. It says, even to the foundation thereof. It says, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. So happy is the man that do the same thing to Esau the way that they done us. And it's going to give us an example on what they was doing. It says, happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stone. So that's what they was doing, man. When they punctured the gate, they came in and they was taking our kids and they was dashing them up against rocks, man. And they was enjoying it. They said, raise it, destroy it. They was having a good time, man. Just like, the so-called pilgrims was having a good time with our native brothers, man. They said they would literally enjoy it, man. Right? So that's one account in Zechariah 14 where it'll tell you, man, what's going to be happening, right? Half of the city going to go into captivity, which is FEMA camps, and the other half is not, but they still going to be destroyed, man. Right? Like Yahushua said, brother shall betray brother, father and son, and the children are going to rise up against the parents, right? So going back to 2nd Ezra chapter 16, I'm going to read 71 again. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. So that's who they looking for. They looking for the ones that fear the Most High God, man. And their objective is to learn, right, so that they can stay in rulership. But that's not going to happen. We know that. It says, for they shall waste and take away their goods. Right? When they come in, when they rifle your home, they're going to take away your goods, the things that you worked hard. And this is going to be, if you really counted those things done, if you really counted the cost, man, straight up. It says, if you still want to be here, right? It says, those that fear the Lord, verse 72, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses, man. Cast us out of our houses, man. Straight. All this is going to be happening at the same time, man. All of this. Right. And that's why the Lord said it's going to be a time that has never been seen before on earth. Right. And then he gives us an example in Amos chapter 5. Let's get the classic, man. So it says Amos chapter 5 and 18. Right. It says, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him. Right? You running from a 300-pound animal, a lion, the king of the jungle, and you finally get away from him, and then a bear come and meet you, and now you got to run away from him. Right? And then it says, and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall, and a serpent bit him. So this is symbolic for the things that you're going to be going through in the day of the Lord, man. The wicked of our people and the heathen. These are the things that they're going to be suffering from, right? Symbolic for a lion, a bear, and a serpent, right? You might have, you might have all the guns in the world, but you're not going to have no food. And you might get food, but you got to worry about the martial law troops, right? Or if you get that, you might have to worry about your sick kids, man, or your sick wife, or your sick husband. Right? These sore judgments of the Most High God. You're going to have to worry about, if you're not worried about that, you might have to worry about animals. You might not have weapons. The fact of the matter is, it's going to be one thing after another. And it's going to be horrible for some people, man. Very horrible. Right? So let's get another precept. Let's go to Isaiah 24. All right. Isaiah chapter 24. In 17, it says, fear and the pit and the snare are upon thee, O inhabitants of the earth. All right, so everybody's going to be afraid. Everybody's going to fall into a pit, and everyone is going to be caught by a snare. And a snare is a trap. Lord is going to set everybody up. Everybody has a lot they're going to fulfill, whether it's death or life, man. Right? And some people are going to be tortured before they die. Right? It says, and it shall come to pass that he who fleeth from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit, and he that cometh up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare. For the windows from on high are open, and the foundation of the earth do shake. Right? So this is going to the Most High's plague that's coming to this place, man. Coming from on high, and ain't nobody going to be able to stop them. Nobody's going to be able to stop the plagues of the Most High God in these last days, man. Right? Just like how, how they think that they can stop like certain famines, like the Great Depression, right? They stop that. There's not going to be nothing like that in these days, man. You're not going to be able to stop anything that the Lord has going to bring forth to Babylon the Great and the rest of these countries. Straight up, man. Straight up. Okay, 1 second. So I wanted to pull this too, man. All right, so it says right here, 10 need to know facts about National Guard. Right, and I was just looking through it, but I noticed something that it said, right? It said it right here. It says right here. It says more than 50,000 National Guard members. And I'm only pulling this up because when they do bring out National Guard, these people are not for your help, man. These are the people that's trained to kill. They don't know nothing else, right? Just like they did in Louisiana, man, in Hurricane Katrina. They was out there killing those people, man. Right? And you can ask the people that was out there, man. Those people was, they was begging for help. And it's supposed to have been, and FEMA was out there. It says 4 years after the 9/11 attacks, Hurricane Katrina brought devastation to the Gulf Coast, creating an unprecedented need for members of the National Guard to assist impact communities after the storm. At the time, more than 79,000 Guard members were federalized to support operations in Iraq and Afghanistan, but still, more than 51 Guard members from across the country quickly deployed to Louisiana and Mississippi to provide humanitarian relief. Hey, and they did the same thing in Houston, right? Matter of fact, let's get this video. I can prove it right quick. The National Guard, man, ain't not for your good, man. They're going to try to kill you. Straight up. And there's a video of a man saying that. He'll tell you, man, don't go in there. Because the same Hurricane Katrina, they had a Hurricane Harvey in Houston, Texas, man. So it's the same events. So let's see what this man says that was going on. So like my computer going slow. Lord willing, I can find this. Man, I wish I could find this video. It's always happened to me. It's always happened to me. Give me 1 second. Man, they probably took it down, man. It was Hurricane Harvey or Hurricane Irma. Man, I'll have to post it later or something, man. Hey, but at the end of the day, man, he'll tell you. He said, man, they in there killing people. Man, I wish I could find this video. But he tell you, man, he said they in there killing people, man. Just lock in. Hey, so at the end of the day, man, these are things we have to prepare for. These are things we have to get studied up for, man, because it tells you in Isaiah chapter 33. It tells you in Isaiah chapter 33 and 6. Hey, money not gonna save you. Hey, your weaponry not gonna save you. None of that stuff is gonna save you. Right? And let me get that in what King David said in Psalm chapter 18. Right? Psalm chapter 18. Matter of fact, Psalm chapter 18. Where's it? Psalm? Yeah. Yes, Psalms 44. I was at Psalms 18. All right, this is Psalms 44. And this is something we have to consider too, man. Money and guns and weaponry and armory and machines is not going to save us. The only thing that's going to save us is the Lord. All right, this is Psalms chapter 44 and 6. Let's start with 4. It says, Psalms 44 and 4. Thou art my king, O God, command deliverance from Jacob, for Jacob. Through thee will we push down our enemies. Through thy name will we tread them under that rise up against us. For I will not trust in my bow, neither shall my sword save me. Right? So this is the understanding that King David had. And King David was mighty, him and the mighty 30, man. And him and the mighty 3, right? I believe it's Joab. And some of those men, man, they killed 300 people by themselves, man. But they had the understanding not to trust in those weapons, man. They trusted in the Most High. The Most High is the one who overcame the battle, man. So, hey, that's just what it is, man. It tells you that in Exodus 14 and 14 that the Lord will fight with us and we're supposed to hold our peace. So there's nothing to be worried about. But this is, let's keep going. It says, but thou hast saved us from our enemies and hast put them to shame that hated us. So the Lord used King David to save the nation of Israel by subduing the heathen, right? So, but the understanding is King David, they had weapons. They had the guns. They had these things, but they didn't trust in these things to save them. And that's how our mindset is. It's not saying don't get these things. The fact of the matter is don't trust in these things to save you, because the Lord is the only one that can save you, right? And this is the same understanding that King David had, verse 7. But thou hast saved us from our enemies and hast put them to shame that hated us. And then it says, in God we boast all the day long and praise thy name forever, Salah. And Salah means for real. Like for real, that's what it is. Right? So this is Isaiah chapter 33 and 6. This is what we depend on. Right? This is what we trust in. It says, in wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time. Stability going into what's going to keep you stable. So wisdom and knowledge is the only thing that's going to keep you stable, right? It says of thy times, right? The times we're coming upon, we're approaching, right? In strength of salvation, right? The strength of salvation, knowing that the Lord is going to save us, the nation of Israel. It says the fear of the Lord is his treasure. We're supposed to fear God and keep his commandments. This is his treasure, and have faith in his only begotten son. This is our only way out, right? Because it's about to go down, man. Let me get this right quick. This is a precept for Isaiah 33. Like this is 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and 7. It says, and everyone that shall be saved, right? We all want to be saved out of this situation that's approaching, right? What we call Jacob's trouble. the day of the Lord's wrath, the great tribulation period, the hour of temptation, however you want to say it. It says, and shall be able to escape by his works. So you got to be laboring. You got to be doing what you're supposed to do for the ministry, right? Because they tell you in Hebrews that you're a non-believer if you're not laboring, man. Hey, that goes for men and women, not just the men. That goes for the women also, man. You just sitting around causing hell, man. Hey, you can forget salvation, man. The Lord ain't coming back to save those kind of people, right? So this is Hebrews chapter 4 and 11. It says, hey, and it tells you in Corinthians, I believe it is, where it says that we labor through the Spirit, and the women they replace that with carnal things. Straight up, like we do things through the Spirit by bringing out the scriptures, bringing out the understanding, and the women are supposed to supply them with carnal things, right, to help them and sustain them and then keep them in the Spirit and to keep going, right? But this is Hebrews 4 and 11. It says, let us labor, therefore, to enter into that rest. What rest is it talking about? The kingdom of heaven. It says, lest any man fall after the same example of unbelief. So if you're not laboring, you're considered an unbeliever, right? And you're going to die at the land of your captivity, man, which is Babylon the Great or wherever else you are, right? And what happens to unbelievers, man? What happens to unbelievers? Revelation 21 and 7. And he that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son. But the fearful and unbelieving, right? That's the key word, unbelieving. And the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. And we know America, Babylon the Great, is going to be the lake of fire. And that's what Revelation chapter 14 goes into. America is going to be that lake of fire, right? So you not believing, you having that unbelieving spirit by not laboring, not doing anything for the ministry, hey, you prone for the lake of fire, man. Straight up. So going back to 2 Ezra chapter 9 and 7, and everyone that shall be saved will be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved. That means protected from the said perils, right? The plagues of the Most High, and shall see my salvation in my land, right? And within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. Then, so you clearly can see basically who the Most High sanctified, because they're going to be laboring. They're going to be in his truth diligent, right? No matter what, man. His men and women is not going to be just sitting around doing nothing, man. Straight up, man. It says, then shall they be in pitiful case. Talking about the 2/3, man. The one that's faking the funk, man. The one that's not really doing what they supposed to be doing. You're considered the 2/3. And a lot of the 2/3 is going to be the ones that's in the truth, man. That say they in the truth. Right? A lot of them is 2/3, man. Believe it or not. It says, which have now abused my ways. Right? You knew of his ways, but you didn't do them. That's called abuse, man. It says, and they that cast them away despitefully, right? You know what you're supposed to be doing. You getting scriptures brought out to you, but you won't receive correction. You think whatever you do is correct. Everything you do is right. It says, despitefully shall dwell in torments. And that's what we tell the people, man. They call us fearmongers, or they say it's going to happen to you, or whatever the case is. But it says right here, they're going to dwell in torments, man. Tortures and torments, right? As if somebody flee from a lion and a bear met them. Or they got away from that bear and they got into a house. They leaned their hand on the wall and a serpent bit them. That's those tortures and torments, man. You being beat with many stripes, that's tortures and torments. Straight up, man. A lot of people going to get it worse, man. A lot of people, a torture and torment can be also you watching your kids suffer, man. You watching your kids starve, man. You watching your kids sick and they have no medicines. These are tortures and torments also, man. Things that you have to watch. And there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it, right? And the only thing that's going to be going in your mind is, man, I messed up. That's why this is happening. I messed up. Straight up. Let me get that. Because it's going to go through your head. That's what the scriptures say is going to happen. All right, I believe it's Wisdom of Solomon 4. God, this is Wisdom of Solomon 4:20. And when they cast up the accounts of their sins, their breaking of the law, right? When you're getting rebuked and corrected, you don't want to listen, right? That sin. It says they shall come forth with fear. Now they're going to be afraid. At first, they wasn't afraid. They didn't care. They not scared, right? Because things are normal. Things are normal right now. But it says they shall come with fear, and their own iniquities shall convince them to their face. So whatever they're going through in that time, right? Whether it's the bear, the lion, or the serpent, it says their own iniquities going to convince them to their face. They're going to know why they're going through what they're going through. And there's going to be nothing you can do about it, man. You got to deal with that. All right, so let's go back to 2 Ezra chapter 9. 2 Ezra chapter 9 and 10. It says, for such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me, right? You received all these benefits, but you don't know the Most High God, man. You don't want to know the Most High God. And some people know him, but they still don't listen, man. It says, for these people, and they that have lost my law, which is hated, they don't want to follow the laws, right? It says, while they had yet liberty, right? Liberty, we know what liberty is, freedom, right? We ain't under the law of sin and death. We're under grace. So you have the freedom to follow it or not, right? It says, so like it says, and they that have cast them away, verse 11, they that have lost my law while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them through Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, of course, understood not but despised it. They didn't give a damn, man. They think this kingdom gonna last forever. They think their rights in this kingdom is gonna last forever, man. But it's coming to an end, right? And it's time for the tortures and torments, man. Right? The scriptures tell you, he that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, it is sin unto him. If you know you're supposed to be doing something and you ain't doing it, that's sin, right? Because you're supposed to be a light, right? And that's what this King Alfred plan is set up for, man. This COINTELPRO, the Most High set this stuff up, man. And it's to get rid of a lot of Jakes, man. That's why it's targeted directly to Jakes when we read this article. It says the target is African Americans, man, and others. And those others is the natives and the Mexicans and Puerto Ricans and on down the list. The 12 tribes. But it says, verse 12, the same must know it after death by pain. And that's just what it is, man. The Lord said, keep the law, statutes, commandments, man, and you shall feel no evil thing. All right, let's get that and then we'll close out. All right, this is Ecclesiastes 8:5. All right, it says, Ecclesiastes 8:5, whoso keepeth the commandment shall feel no evil thing, and a wise man's heart discerneth both time and judgment. If you wise, you're going to observe the times we're living in, and you're going to observe the judgment, the punishment on what the Lord is going to do in these last days, man. Look at the earth. Look at all the judgment that people be getting. Bro, it'd be some crazy, heinous, sick stuff going on, but it's all judgment. And you think you exempt from that judgment? You crazy, man. You a nut, man. Straight up. But it says you keep the commandments, you shall feel no evil thing. You don't get to keep the commandments you want to. You keep all of them that you can keep. Straight up, man. So let's leave off on this. So this is Romans chapter 15 and verse 4. Romans 15:4 says, for whatsoever things are written aforetime were written for our learning. These scriptures, this history, archaeological evidence, all these things was written for our learning, man. You're not supposed to just get this information and just sit on it. You're supposed to get this information and bring it forth, man, especially you being a watchman. It says, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope, man. So with that, man, I want to say shalom.